Holy moly, guys, we have a heck of a show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about what Rob Patterson said, Rob something Patterson, of course, televangelist that I've been watching since I was a kid, and probably you too. He's been on TV for 40 years, and he's actually saying something very similar to what our sources said. The man that actually has connections all over the world, religious leaders, have met with presidents all throughout decades, and this man is saying that T-Man wins, and then an asteroid's going to hit, and then we're going to go to conflict with other countries. We're going to talk about that and more, and China and Russia and everything else that just happened today, including the FBI announcement today about security. So we'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, remember, if you're not getting notifications from the algorithm gods, make sure to go over to marfooglenews.com. You can actually sign up for our push notifications, and you can sign up for our email alerts. I cannot stress enough, everybody should be signing up for the email alerts at least, because we have no idea what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. This is, again, the system that we were going to originally set up for alerts of an emergency nature. Now we are also using it for articles wrote by larger creators. Now, larger creators that, again, you may not have access to anymore. So keep that in mind. Go to marfooglenews.com. If you are following along tonight, there is a lot of explosive stuff happening all over the world, but not only that, in the United States, crazy stuff. In fact, we are going to be doing a 2-part show tonight. Absolutely crazy, crazy things are happening. It is 2020. It is one of the most insane years ever in history. Ever. I think I said ever. Ever. So, and at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we are going to find out even more. At 7:30 tonight, we found out some crazy stuff. Man, oh man, it is absolutely insane. So if you want to follow along, you can actually go on our website. You can read along with us or take a second device and actually go here. We have it very easily organized by thumbnail. You will see this thumbnail, T-Man, then Asteroid. And then, of course, you can click on this, Wild Predictions. The name might change, and then you will see that all of the articles here, we have a bibliography of sorts backing up every single thing we say with a source, so you actually know where we got it, whether it's an approved source, left, right, whatever you want to check on it. Then the caller info by the end of the show will actually be here. So if somebody calls in and they have a YouTube channel, their information will be there. If somebody calls in with a document or a picture of a jet flying over their house, that information will be updated live right there. So with that in mind, let's introduce Dex. Dex is my co-host. He'll also be screening the calls at 224-400-MARF. That's going to be scrolling on this black line right here. And again, make sure to press option 4. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
Glad I did one. We're a bit loud. So obviously tonight at 7:30, I guess we can talk about that. There was an announcement by FBI and I believe NSA. Is that right? You had Ray and Pritchett, or what was it? Ray and what was the other name? Radcliffe, yeah, DNI. We won't go fully into that. We're going to actually put all the info there, and we're going to go into that in the second part of the show. But basically, they did a security meeting about the coming day on November 4th. They said that Rai Lan was actually interfering in some ways, sending kind of emails telling people that they shouldn't go vote or do this or else kind of thing. So we'll talk about that in the second part of the show. That's crazy. And by the way, we were getting emails from people and messages saying that they were getting these and that they were getting these calls. I put that out, including on Twitter, and people said, "Oh, you're just trying to stir the pot. This doesn't exist. This is propaganda. This and whatever else." Now, fast forward about a week, and of course now it's actually happening. That's not us. We didn't have a crystal ball or anything. It's because the Foogle fam was letting us know, and we relayed that information, and we were able to get it ahead of it by about a week. So that is true. They confirmed it, and we weren't just making it up to stir the pot. That was an actual fact. They are popping up all over the place. One thing that I said, though, is I believed it was on both sides, and I did believe that it was there to stir the pot. I wasn't trying to stir the pot. It's there to divide and to get everybody mad at each other, cause chaos, this and that. So we'll go into that again on the second part. First off, though, we've got some crazy stuff. I wanted to show you this in a second. Oh, man, this is going to be absolutely nuts. Second part. And then this, just have to say, we're going to get into this in a minute, but you guys know my thoughts on asteroids. Somebody, in fact, said today, and I actually don't normally respond to anything kind of negative, but this gentleman, I hope, actually comes back. What they said is, I used to watch you, and you could have blew up so big if you covered all the craziness in 2020. Instead, you have cashed in on this asteroid hoax or whatever it was. And my response to him, I said, first off, if I was to cash in, I would have went on with the letter 17, and I would have done nothing but that. Now, I know really good guys who covered that, but even they know, and they have called out other people in that community that basically just wrote it for the views and wrote it to grow. Every channel that I actually used to cover all of that stuff. I used to cover all the posts. And you can look way, 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 way back, and I did, and you'll notice that everybody else that kept going, I was at like 500 subscribers when Jordan Sather and all these other people were at 500 subscribers. They all blew up. Just Informed, all these people blew up absolutely crazy. I didn't, because I didn't fully believe in it after the first trip code change, and I actually stopped doing it, and I publicly kind of said what I thought. And then again, I kind of came back around. I was at least following it and this and that, and I've always followed it, but I didn't cover it. And I think that's what they meant. I don't know. But again, that would have been cashing in. The asteroid stuff that we've talked about has not gotten any more views than anything else on our repertoire of channels. We haven't gotten viral videos on it. It is not something that even people fully, copy and share places, which they should be. Because of the information that we got, I do 100% believe my theory, and that is that they know something is coming, and they're not going to say it. Of course they're not going to say it. If it was going to happen, if something was going to come towards us and hit us, they weren't going to give us warning. They're not going to say, hey, go cause chaos and everybody go nuts because you know exactly the finite day that the world ends. I'm not saying it's, doomsday or anything like that, but something is going on beyond all of this circus that is happening. So I think that it's kind of weird that Pat Robertson, somebody who has basically rubbed shoulders with all of the world's religious leaders. He's interviewed presidents. He has been part of many people's kind of entourage as far as their inner circle. If they invite a televangelist, it's him. So he talks and rubs shoulders with a lot of elites. And I mean a lot. The guy has been around longer than most all televangelists with the 700 Club. Some would say that he's done their donations to things, and they've done a lot for the community, everything else. Some would say that he's a televangelist, so that word right away just turns them off. That's fine. But again, this guy has talked to some serious people, and we're talking about for decades. For more than my lifetime, he has been rubbing shoulders with this. And what he says is that God told him that T-Man will win, and then an asteroid will hit the Earth, and then we will go to conflict with the two eyes, or the two eyes will go to conflict, and we'll get into this big thing. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. First, we're going to cover some of more of the down-to-earth news, and man, it is definitely 2020, that's for sure. It says U.S. State Department approves costly missile arms sales to Taiwan. This is a big kind of punch right in the side of the head for China, because China has said don't sell anything to them. They were pissed off about the jets. They were pissed off about this, that. Of course, obviously, tensions are high and their relationship is at a low. It says the U.S. State Department approved on Wednesday the sale of roughly $1 billion in long-range cruise missiles and $436 million in rocket artillery vehicles to Taiwan. Just the latest incident of Washington supplying advanced weaponry to a government China considers to be a province in rebellion. So, with everything we've covered over the last couple months, and we're just looking at it from the outside in, or sometimes inside out, there's artillery being set up all over the place, and now that we absolutely 100% know China is setting up this crazy border defense thing, and then we've got our Pacific Defender drills, and we're putting artillery in Alaska for a drill, of course. That's what they say, right? And now Taiwan and South Korea, they have been doing their drills. They've been beefing up their borders, their actual coastline, everything else, the peninsula. What the heck is going on? You've got Sweden and all these other countries doing weird stuff, sticking their whole navies into bunkers underwater, in the mountain bunkers. I mean, this is nuts. So, again, I would like to hear your theory on all of that. But at this point, we are now selling some major artillery, some major weaponry, long-range stuff to Taiwan. And that really pisses off China. It says the Defense Security Cooperation Agency, the Pentagon's office that oversees the U.S. military assistance to other nations, announced on Wednesday that the State Department had approved the sale of $1.008 billion worth of AGM-84H Standoff Land Attack Missile Expanded Response, or the very clever SLAM-R. It says, and related equipment to the Republic of China, the official name of the government in Taipei, Taiwan. It's crazy. So it says, according to the announcement, the Taiwanese envoy to Washington requested 135 SLAM-R cruise missiles, as well as 4 telemetry missiles for test firing and 12 captive air training missiles used to simulate the missile onboard aircraft in training. So what did we cover over the last couple days? If you aren't there, I'll just give you kind of a recap. In fact, Dex, I'll have you come in here and help me with this. Over the last few days, did we not just cover that the official kind of narrative in China is they are saying that they are going to invade Taiwan, and then Taiwan's official narrative is that they are going to get invaded. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
Hey, Adam. Sorry. Yeah, I believe that is correct, because we've seen this going back and forth, this continuous escalation, right? And so now that we just reported in our last show that China put their hypersonics on one side. Now we're sending our own missiles over there, right?
Yes, indeed. So, what do you guys think? I'll go over to the chat real quick and say hi to everybody. What do you think? Do you think that they are actually preparing for this? That is also on top, if you've missed the last couple weeks. That is also on top of the news that it came out with satellite photos that China has the capital of Taiwan made up into a mock, a satellite base exactly made out to look like Taiwan's capital, and they are using it to drill and actually practice taking over the capital. And it is a huge, it's not like one little building that looks like the Capitol. It's a huge training ground, and it's an exact replica of the ground in the entire area of the Capitol building. So they are literally practicing to take it over, and now it looks like both sides are kind of beefing up. What that means is that we may get involved, and if we do, this would be a set-off moment. We don't know if somebody would do the first attack, but it looks like from what kind of defenses they are setting up, they are trying to have some long-range stuff just in case. Of course, China has plenty of weaponry, including the largest navy in the world. Again, they have surpassed the U.S., In just a year and a half, they went from not being bigger than us to being the largest navy by I think a few dozen ships over our military. I think we have like 280 and they have 350. It could be less of a margin than that. If they really do have 70 ships more, then that's pretty insane. Some people will say, oh, well, maybe we have more carriers, this and that. We don't actually know that anymore because they've been building under these huge, massive covers. Satellite photos were not able to pick that out, but then finally it leaked out that we were able to get ground level photos of all of these huge ships being built under these massive covers made to look like ground. So they had their own kind of Sweden Navy bunker thing, only made above ground for much cheaper. Not so much as a defensive thing, but more of a hiding thing. So they were mass producing. Remember, China is the manufacturing king of the world. They have that down better than anybody else. They've manufactured cheap goods for the rest of the planet. And now they are using all of those factories, all those things, it looks like, to produce weapons and things like that. Right now, we are being pushed to actually hate this country right now, and that kind of worries me because basically they are asking for us to support this. They're getting us all hyped up to say, oh, these are the bad guys, and it's not just us, it's the world. Australia, Europe, all of these countries are saying, hey, these are the bad guys. This is the bad thing, and they very well probably are. But on the top of it, I think that there's something going on here underneath as well. Some infiltration into our government, possibly. I don't know. Grace for you too says, per Epic Times 1 hour ago, U.S. approves $1 billion in arms sale to Taiwan. We just actually covered that. Isn't that absolutely crazy? I'm glad that Epic Times got to it. I'm surprised they got to it so late. I didn't realize that we were that early. It says, Tuckpuff says, we comprehend the word serenity and will know peace. Awareness in these key days. Much love to all. Tuckpup, it's nice to see you again. It's been a minute. Thank you so much for coming tonight. And then Channel Jammer, thanks for gifting out subs. You know you don't have to do that. You're already doing the job of mod. You don't have to do nothing. But thank you so much. Iggy Mom, I appreciate it. High Velocity, Greatest is Love, Barbara Rowe. And then, of course, we have Buddy Lee, 63, Desert Granny. They're getting ready for something. Yes, I believe you. I believe you on that one. Cutthroat Mom is here. We've got the Recalcitrant. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. It's on like Donkey Kong by February. Some people say before that, actually. Mersa1 gifted another sub. Thank you so much for giving that to the channel there. And then Unicorn Forest, we've got Alternative Me, Edgy Whalen. Thank you. You were just mentioned in the Fam Appreciation Day tweet thread. Thank you so much for being awesome. Flawless by Christ says, spoiler alert, God wins. I love that. That's the best comment of the night. And then we've got Juicy420, Brayley, and Mikey Bear. Thank you guys for all being here. And now you got the Marfia badge. So thank you all for being there. Liz Loveridge, thank you for subscribing over on YouTube. Abu Gonza, Proby Butter, and Vay Lane. Thank you guys. Looks like I don't have access to the YouTube side, though, Dex. So if you can add that, that would be great. All right, so going into the next thing, of course, we've got Taiwan. We've got that situation. I really do think that a lot of you probably agree with this. Let's see here. I don't think China recognizes Taiwan as a separate company, as a country. They see it as a part of China. No, that's absolutely true. They say that openly. They say that that is a part of their country that is in rebellion. So they are saying that they are going to take it back. That's why some countries in the world actually agree with them that they should take them out. Some countries actually don't agree with us meddling in that. They say they should just let them take over Taiwan. But of course, the people that live in Taiwan do not want that. Again, if you want to live under the Chinese rule, then go right ahead. Let's see here. Sheepdog says, where's Hunter's pipe? Not going to get into that yet. We'll get into that later. Let's see. Greatest is Love. Has anyone heard from Munder? No, I have not. I don't usually have time to check, but I usually check on him every once in a while to see if he's good and healthy. Let's see here. Eric Elliott, Rip Curl, what's good? And please let us know if you find out if he's. I know that everybody comes into our chat, and usually we check on people. I encourage that. If there's somebody who's disappeared for a month or something on YouTube, let us know. Let's see here. Before the norm was made in China, it was made in Taiwan. Yes. As far as like production, it says I'm in the nowhere, Alaska, and I have helicopters and fighter planes going over right now. Alaska prepper, you here? Okay, so Catherine Willie just said I'm in nowhere, Alaska, and I have helicopters and fighter planes going over right now. Can you please go out and take videos of that? Please get out there. Don't watch the show if you have that kind of stuff going over above your head. Get as much video as you can. Much coverage, especially if you're out in the middle of nowhere. That's weird. That is the area. That's one of the areas we're looking at hardcore. Parts of Alaska are in sight of other borders that we do not want. Munder was swatted, says Mary Tyndall. And I'm sorry if I said that right. Tyndall. Marfool's Gold says Munder found a doctor. I'm super glad. I'm always praying for that guy. Munder was not good 36 hours ago. I hope he is. Dang Alaska, Hill Liberty. HW Liberty, thank you. Dang Alaska. Let's see here. Northern Hemisphere, what is going on? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh my gosh. Everybody. I live in the armpit of West Texas around Pecos, and military stuff flies all over the time. That is true. Revtune, when you live right by a base, it's like, yeah, that's normal. When you live out in the middle of nowhere, that's what's weird. Rip Curl, how you been, my friend? Who said that? That was Mr. Lee R. Thank you guys for all being here tonight. So obviously we've got a lot of stuff going on. This is another thing. The U.S. hits this media, with new restrictions, upping tensions. It says the T-Man administration is hitting the media outlets in the U.S. with new restrictions, a move that will further foment tensions in already deteriorating ties between the world's two largest economies, as President DT seeks to boost his anti-China credentials ahead of November's. It says the measures announced by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo Wednesday target Yakai Global, Jeff Yang Daily, and Zinmin Evening News, social sciences in this press, Beijing Review, and the Economic Daily by requiring them to register as foreign missions, a step that includes making them identify their employees. They are all substantially owned or controlled by a foreign government, says Pompeo. So that is... And Dex, feel free to add anything if you want on any of these. I'm gonna go through to some of the crazier ones here. I have a feeling that you guys, I just have to say, we just want to remind people that we back up everything here with a bibliography. We allow you to get the sources if somebody is watching right now. Just so you know, we back everything up. We come from a neutral standpoint. We do not push up either side here. That will be part 2 over on a different platform. We don't do that here. U.S. government concludes Rylan was behind threatening emails sent to these. And it says U.S. officials on Wednesday night accused these guys of targeting American voters with faked but menacing emails, and warned with both these and Russia had obtained voter data that could be used to endanger the upcoming day of reckoning. As some call it. The disclosure of the Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, at a hastily called news conference marked the first time this cycle that a foreign adversary has been accused of targeting specific voters in a bid to undermine the Dem confidence. It says just 4 years after Russian online operations marred the 2016 event. Being careful here, we've got, 13 days left, and people are just, it's like ghosts. Just people are just going, gone. To hear about, God, I don't get that. James is not that bad. That's just scary. If you guys want to help the show, again, who knows what we will have to end up doing just to stay up here. Please make sure to check these guys out. This will actually help protect you as well. In fact, I believe this will save lives in the event of an EMP. We've worked with EMP Shield for over a year. They are actually contracted. They've been government contracted by agencies like DHS, DOD, and now the DEMSO team officially working for the Texas grid, helping protect it. This can actually protect you against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3, and it can protect you against solar flares up to 228,000 amps. So again, this guy right here, these guys are made in America. They are veteran owned. It is an amazing company. Anyone who has dealt with them personally knows that they go the extra mile to take care of their people. For the people though, too, this is going to continue. They are going to continue selling to consumers. When they got all these contracts with the government after that order was signed, people were wondering. I still get that email to this day. They are not going anywhere for consumers. They're still going to sell for now to consumers. Again, these are the same company that is doing protection for much more important buildings. You can get one for your car, your solar system, ham radio. I suggest getting it for at least the kind of quad combo. But thank you guys for everybody that has already supported, has already done this. This is way cheaper than losing every single device and every car and everything that has electricity in it. Way cheaper than replacing all of that. And who knows if you'll even be able to replace it. I think it would be more like a life-saving thing. And then, again, that is marfooglenews.com/EMP. If you guys want to check that out, if you want to help the channel out and help us possibly get back up and running if anything happens. Now, USCV surge, only 4 states and D.C. seeing weekly infections decline. This is not a good sign for the United States as far as not going into lockdown. Some have said, and some of our people that are actually talking to people in the White House have said that they believe anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks we will be back in this. It would be pretty crazy if it was like one day before November 4th or something. They said, hey, it's gotten so bad, you've all got to stay in your house. It makes sense, and a lot of people would think that that's for something else, maybe because they know stuff is going to happen depending on who wins this thing. I think it will be a lot worse if T-Man wins as far as riots in the street and things like that. I honestly, I don't know if there will be much craziness. I know there's some people that say they would do something if the other person won, but again, I think that would be kind of hypocritical considering when T-Man won, everybody said, oh, well, these guys, they just won't, give in and say, hey, they won. It's a democracy, 4 years, whatever. All the time I heard that for the 2 years, like, they won't let go of it. I would hope that the same people that said that would, if it went the other way around. I hope we can get back to peace. I hope that we can get back to, this craziness is not going to end, in my opinion. And I do think that it is going to go the way of crazy. So we'll see what happens. Volunteer in AstraZeneca CV trial dies. This was not good news, of course, because obviously someone passed away. It says volunteer involved in the AstraZeneca and Oxford University CV trial has died. It says Brazilian health authority Anvisa announced on Wednesday, according to Reuters, an investigation into the death is ongoing, but the trials will continue. So obviously, lots going on there. And then we have, of course, this. And this, I tell you, is probably, I know that most of you that watch my channel know that this is something like my mind is set. I believe that they are trying to get off Earth for some reason. I believe that there's been a lot of weird stuff with all of the world's telescopes. I believe all the way back until, Sunspot shut down. They had Black Hawk helicopters, all this stuff going in. I believe since then, things like crazy took off. Then all of a sudden we had Space Force. We had all this. Starlink just got pumped up like way faster. SpaceX did all this stuff. All of a sudden, in the last 5 years, it was like, oh, we got to go to the moon. And then everybody was going to the moon. You had every country doing it. Then you had China going to the far side of the moon. Why? Again, now they talk about, I believe it was Russia that talks about putting a laser on the moon to destroy asteroids. You've got at least the U.S. and Russia both coming up with nuclear options to take out or to try to deter a asteroid from hitting Earth. You, of course, had Oumuamua come in and do that weird thing where it came right around us and then sped up as it left. It was our first interstellar visitor, and they named it Scout, like it's the first one, like it's the Scout. And then the second one, I believe, Dex, do you remember what the second one was called? It was called something that like was totally, it made, I translated it, and it was even creepier because it was like the first of it meant something. It was like the first of a combat group or something in
I don't remember the name, Adam. Sorry.
That's okay. So we had 2 interstellar visitors. We've had all of these asteroid missions, Hayabusa, OSIRIS-REx, all of this stuff. And everybody goes, oh, it's just for money. They're just going up there because the asteroids have gold on it and this and that, and it will be billions of dollars. That may be so, but they are also putting on Starlink all of this other crazy stuff like sensors to detect incoming hypersonic objects or incredibly fast objects. And when they said that they put these sensors in there before they were just putting Starlink, and they said that they were going to make this in complete grid around the planet, I thought that's weird. I even said that I believed it was for some sort of asteroid defense. And then now, fast forward, they actually announced that they are going to use Starlink not just as internet, but as something that actually detects incoming objects. Anybody that's watched me for a long time knows on this. And then we talked to somebody who looks over the finances, says that they have put money into debris cleanup for stuff coming into space. The amount of money is like multiple cities. So the amount of money that's put into that by FEMA and other agencies, that's what's crazy to me. Not to mention all of the kind of programming that has been weird signs here and there. Now, of course, we have Pat Robertson, somebody who is absolutely legendary. And I mean, even if it's not in a good way for you, he's been around for as long as most of us have been alive. He's been on TV. He's been around since forever. I don't know if this actually says how long he has been around. It says the 90-year-old forecasted disaster for the country and the world after the November 4th event, including civil unrest, at least 2 attempts on T-Man, and a conflict against is that will be, quote, put down by God. It says then the world will see, quote, at least 5 years or more of extraordinary peace before the asteroid. What is the math on this, by the way? Does this put us at Apophis? And why would he say this? This is a gentleman. This is a gentleman in 2 years from now, if we find out publicly or if they release information about an asteroid, this is a gentleman who would want to be like, see, I told you it was in my vision. When really he rubs necks with all these elites and maybe actually got a source. Then he says it before anybody else as a prediction, then it happens. Just saying. Some people would say, well, no, he wouldn't ever do that. Or maybe he wants to tell people and he can say it this way, but really he's actually telling you that's what's going to happen. If you look at all, Dex, how have you seen Pat Robertson since you were a kid? I'm pretty sure he's been around since you. He's been around since you were a kid.
Right.
So, do you think that he rubs necks with leaders all over the world?
He's pretty influential and probably had, the ear of many people.
So this is just one more thing. Why asteroid, right? And this is so creepy. He says at least 2 attempts on T-Man. And what if we find out later that's why he was somewhere else? And then the world will see at least 5 years of extraordinary peace before the asteroid.
He also has a history of predictions. I don't know how well they have come true. I'm not a big follower, but I do know he's done a lot of predictions.
Well, look at this. He said in 1976 the world would end in 1982, which wouldn't have helped the sales for his 1990 book, The New Millennium. Anticipated the end of time on April 29th, 2007. That's weird. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think that he is trying to call it because he has some inside information, or do you think it truly is just a vision that he had?
Hey, you like this one, Adam. He did predict a Pacific Northwest tsunami back in 2006. Didn't happen, but...
What was that?
He predicted a Pacific Northwestern tsunami in 2006.
So Capper85 says, so clearly he has a bad track record. I don't know. You never know. But
timing may be off. He may be on the right things. Timing just may be off.
Well,
right?
That's another
tsunami
thing.
In Northwest, who was talking about that in 2006, right?
Exactly. So one thing that I don't get though is, and in this case probably, yeah, he is not accurate. So one thing is maybe he wants to be accurate. Maybe he knows stuff, so he gets to be the one that says, I called it. Because anybody that does this kind of stuff, the best thing they would want would be vindication. One thing that I don't get, though, is that as far as why the timing of it, I would say, wait, I guess I have made some predictions, and I'm not like this. I don't ever put a date on anything or anything like that, but I do believe that we will have an asteroid. So there's part of me that wants to believe him, and then there's part of me that's seen him since I was a kid. And you know what I think has really kicked Christians in the teeth is televangelist. I'll just be honest. Like, you guys know that all over my social media, I do hate that, some stuff is not protected. Every other thing is protected, but not Christians. We're not protected as far as a lot of the things we are able to say, because some of our views don't go along with what society likes now, right? But as far as the televangelist, I think that growing up since the 80s, there were so many scam artist televangelists that it really did burn people and it put a sour taste in their mouth. That's not what it should be. These guys are different. And I'm not saying necessarily him, but some of the other ones, the ones that tap their forehead and pass out and this and that. Those people I think are hypnotists. Because when I was a kid, me and my mom went to every church all over the country, and I did have that happen to me, and I did feel like I passed out. But I also think that you think it's so hard that you actually do pass out, or it's just so exciting you think it. If you believe it, truly believe it, then your own brain does stuff to you. I don't know. I felt like the one the Indian guy that used to do it all the time. I can't remember his name. We went to his conferences where he would touch and a guy in a wheelchair would stand up and start tap dancing and that kind of thing. And I think that kind of thing really did ruin a kind of a small generation, which is really sad. So as far as this goes, I don't know. But I do think that he does want vindication. He's 90 years old. Maybe he's trying to get some vindication before he leaves. Like, I predicted this. He's being super specific. Like super, super specific on that. So who knows? Obviously I know what you guys think. I've seen a lot a lot there on both platforms. So All right, let's see here. Somebody said, why are you spending so much time on this? It's just a prediction. Because I think it's true. I think it is true. That's why. And if you watched my show and if you've seen everything I've shown you the facts. That's just a prediction. But on top of everything else, I do think that is absolutely, I think that it is a 100% truth. Not what he is saying exactly, but as far as an asteroid, I do believe it. I 100% believe that they know something is coming. Yeah, and I don't normally say that. You guys know that. If you guys want to support us in a different way, please check out NordVPN. It's a virtual private network. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. And then we're going to go over to the chat. Again, I have shown you that there's been a lot of weird stuff over the last couple of years, and I never say straight up. In fact, people get mad at me because I'm on the fence about things. That is something I do believe. As far as the asteroid, that's something I'm going to stick to. And people will say, where is it? Where is it? I don't think we want it to happen now, and I hope that it doesn't happen. I really do. But I do believe it. And I think it's common sense when you see all the stuff that's been going on. All right, let's see here. Jason78, thank you for being here tonight. Mystical Me. If you guys haven't checked out Jason78's channel, make sure to go do so. She's a beautiful painter. She's also trying to support her adventures. If you guys want to support her by buying one of her paintings, she's got really awesome ones. I don't know if she's selling any right now, but she's got beautiful, beautiful paintings. And then this story, I'm actually going to skip. We're going to come back to that. Because this is a big deal. Whoa. At 9 a.m. tomorrow, we will find out a lot more. So I will kind of go over what people are expecting. It says a flesh-eating bacteria lurking in the ocean is killing people in the Carolinas. It says as Billy Bailey picked up through the crabs he caught on Big Bay Creek, trying to determine which to keep and which to throw back, one of them clamped down on his hand, causing him to shake his fingers. The small cut that opened up from the claw's pinch reminded Bailey to be more careful the next time he went crabbing. It says then he chuckled and forgot about it. Sitting back in the boat while his fishing buddy maneuvered the craft to the dock that day in early October 2017. Hours later, Bailey was shivering and sick, buried under a pile of blankets that couldn't keep him warm. Say friends who were with him. By dawn the next day, Bailey's stomach was upset and he couldn't walk. He worried friends rushed him to the doctor. On October 13, 2017, Bailey died in the hospital, the victim of a microbe so dangerous it can inflict horrific pain, trigger ghastly skin infections, and kill in a matter of days. So he got a tiny little cut bit by a crab or pinched by a crab and then ended up going in and dying. This is a story that we've actually covered types of things like this. In fact, last year it was in the Midwest. They had these puddles. There was a couple lakes where this bacteria, brain-eating bacteria, that one was a crazy one. So this is just yet another one. Let's see here. I think it's called Vibrio, a bacteria that research shows is sickening more people and being found more often in rivers, creeks, and sounds along the Carolina coast. People who got toxic Vibrio infections from swimming or handling fish, crabs, or shrimp sometimes watch helplessly as toxins eat away at their flesh, turning small sores into gaping wounds. Ugh. Says, and then they say the Earth's warming climate, which is causing sea levels to rise and storm surges to intensify, is a major reason dangerous strains of Vibrio are an increasing threat to people who swim, fish, and work in coastal waters across the planet, scientists say. It says since 2007, reports of illness from toxic forms of Vibrio have tripled in South Carolina and nearly doubled in North Carolina. So if you're in South or North Carolina, I would definitely be careful about disinfecting and all sorts of stuff. Again, that is very creepy and don't want any of you guys to see your maker that way. Nose Pickens says the crab didn't pick his the crab didn't wash his hands. Somebody says Yale Bates GMO bacteria. Let's see. Alaska's water is freezing. No Vibrio here yet, says Cutthroat Mom. To the person who said that they had planes and stuff flying over them, please get to us, take pictures, anything. Let's see here. It says, do you have smartphone pinky? Expert warns of new side effect after video goes viral. It says people use their phones for everything, whether it's uploading a snap to Instagram or checking the news. We are all guilty a little bit too much screen time. It says, while social media can be a fun distraction from our everyday lives, experts have warned the strange side effects that some are experiencing due to high levels of smartphone usage. So this is kind of crazy here. Let's see here. It says, so-called smartphone pinky has swept the internet, with many people complaining that their pinky finger has developed a bend due to the way they hold their phone. Nope. It says TikTok and Twitter is currently full of people posting pictures and videos of their deformed fingers, which they claim is due to their phones. So I guess if you hold your phone like this, right? You put your pinky at the bottom and it bends. So they're holding the weight on their pinky and it's turning their pinky sideways. It says one user posted a video of their little finger and said, kind of hard to see on camera. Does anyone else have this? Actually, I don't know. I actually might have it. I have the phone pinky. Says the video received over 23,000 likes. Most people tend to hold their smartphone with their thumb poised over the screen in the back or the bottom of the device resting on the pinky finger. One concerned Twitter poster posted a snap to the site with the caption, I have an actual #iPhone injury. My finger has bent and will not straighten. Need to change the way I hold my phone. Oh my gosh. I think I have the exact same thing. So the weight of, and I if that's real, like I think I have the same thing. That is pretty nuts. Maybe it's slowly the weight it pushes down on the finger. It's not much weight, but over time, I think all of us are on our phones so much. That's possible. Do you think Adam, that's real?
I think I have it too, but then I compared my other pinky, and it sort of has the same, and I don't hold my phone in the other hand, so I'm not sure. At first I was like, I have it, and then I looked at the other hand, I'm like, well, no, they're the same, so maybe I don't.
I don't think I have it. I think it's totally like, I don't think anybody's ever looked at their pinky fingers that hardcore. They saw this and they go, oh my gosh, I have it. But it's just the way pinky fingers are in general. I think because everybody's hands are the same. Or, I mean, not the same, but you know what I mean. That's funny. Are you looking at your pinky finger right now and seeing if you have it? I guarantee you, almost all of you are looking at it and going, oh yeah. Because did you look at it before this article? Did you look at it before this story came out? Because I almost guarantee you that is something so out there that I guarantee you wouldn't have looked. See, look at that. I don't see anything right there, but I do see this. On this side, you see how it kind of bends in. So from that point on, it's down. It's pushed down from the weight of it.
Now, Adam, I will tell you, I've looked at my pinky after holding the phone, and then I've rubbed the area where the phone would be resting, and it actually does feel like it's indented differently than my other finger. Just a little bit, not a lot. But I can't see a visual difference.
I feel it too. It's because when I hold it like this, it's right there. It sits right there beyond the first knuckle, and then if you feel right there, there's an indent. There's an actual indent that isn't on the other pinky. All right, okay.
It's almost like you have a callus there or something. Like
that
you built
story,
up a little extra skin.
Somebody can go, why are you spending so much time on this? I don't blame you for saying it there. So, anyways. But here's the good part. To leave you with some positive before we go over to the phones, performing acts of kindness can boost both physical health and happiness level, study finds. So, first off, I kind of knew this. Somebody told me a long time ago that if you do good things for other people, that it actually can be good for you because of the feelings and I guess you can even get endorphins. It says performing acts of kindness and helping other people can be good for people's health and well-being. That's according to new research published by the American Psychological Association. But not all good-hearted behavior is equally beneficial to the giver. The strength of the link depends on many factors, including the type of kindness, the definition of well-being, and the giver's age, gender, and other demographic factors. It says that pro-social behavior, or altruism, cooperation, trust, and compassion are all necessary ingredients of a harmonious and well-functioning society, said lead author Bryant P.H. Hui, Ph.D., a research assistant professor at the University of Hong Kong. It is a part of the shared culture of humankind, and our analysis shows that it also contributes to mental and physical health. So, do you believe that you are happier or actually are healthier after you help people? Do you know any people that help everybody they know and they're like the healthiest people ever? Or do you think it's a bunch of hooey-fooey? Or quite literally, his name is Hui. I think his name is Hui. Yeah, Bryant P.H. Hui. Do you think it's a bunch of hooey? PhD? Or what? Let's see here. Dex, I am going to pop over. I hope that we have this over here. I got to open this new page here. Let's see. Boom, boom. My nose is super clogged. My keep tasting like chlorine. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, Gone Girl, thank you so much. It says pinky deformation, LOL. Thank you, Gone Girl 777. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here tonight. I hope you had fun at the other night at your party. Backwoods Ingenuity says betting on big tech issues during GMAX info dump. I believe it's happening as we speak. In fact, people just put in the chat recently today, there's more of it. Man, it's really crazy right now. I think everybody is a little bit afraid right now, especially on our side of things. If he had inside info, all would be correct. Even one correct prediction, let alone more, is something to think about. Good point, Christian Moore. Let's see, Wes Romans. Sorry. He's talking about... sorry. Wes Romans 10:9-13 says he's talking about wormwood in the Bible. He also said Romney would win and get re-elected. It says just used a sermon. A lot of context missing. Good point, Wes, as well. Doc Bill, everyone's gone to the moon lyrics. Streets full of people, all alone, roads full of houses, never home, church full of singing, out of tune, everyone's gone. I don't know. Again, gone to the moon, everyone's gone to the moon, streets full of people all alone. That is some crazy lyrics. Do you guys think it's weird the song that's out right now, and it's been out, and I pointed this out when it first came out, the song that says, where were you when the earthquake happened? Something, or would you come and see me if it was the end of the world? That song, it's all over the radio right now. Would you still see me if it was the end of the world? And then the girl part of it, it's a guy-girl song, and the guy says, it happened so quick when the earthquake happened, and then her part is like, I want to see you when the shaking started, and it's basically talking about the world shaking, and that it's the end of the world, and they're talking about, like, if it was the end of the world, would we throw everything away and would we meet up and spend our last day together or whatever? That's one of the most popular songs right now. Why are things like this popping up all over the place? It's weird to me. If you guys know what song I'm talking about, I'm not a good radio song rememberer, and I don't think rememberer is an actual word, but you guys get what I mean. Joseph Newhouse, hey Adam, chat Dex mods. If interested, after show I have like 20-minute video about the mystery which hath hid from the ages. I would definitely love to check it out. NGC6543, I just want to hear Marf say, farts are funny. Just want to say hashtag Team Jesus, hashtag Team Humanity, hashtag TruthYo, hashtag FoogleFam. Gone Girl. You don't have to do that. You guys, thank you so much. That was massively supportive there, Gone Girl. You know you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. We appreciate your massive support of the channel. $50 though, that is too much. Thank you so much. Wild prediction, Toss Dare from Australia, I want to say. A new Bretton Woods video, Cristallini, Georgia Eva, International Monetary Fund warns countries to follow V programs to continue access. I'm guessing that access to the global economy, 2 minutes into video, a must watch. Toss Dare, if you want to put that link somewhere on my Twitter, we can put it on our website. And then we've got Tiffany Braun. Thank you so much. You can always write something there. Christian Moore says, hey, fam, don't take any day for granted. Hug your fam. I completely agree with that. I've been telling people that since day one. Don't sit here and bitch about the world. Love your family. Chris Vigil, thank you so much for your support. I believe at that level you can actually write something. Make sure to go do so. And then love you, Adam, Dex, Mods, and Foogle fams. I can't get D-Live chat to show up. Meh. Gone Girl, thank you again for the massive support. I always exit out. I sometimes have to clear my cache. I exit out of the app and I come back in. I know that you like it actually better over there. A lot of people do. It's actually, once you get used to the ecosystem in there, I think it's a much smaller, tight-knit community. Liz LaMarche, thank you for keeping us informed. Shout out to my trucker DM, Walken, who also watches the show now. Miss you much. Come home safe to me. I love it. Liz always shouts out to her trucker husband, and he does the same to her. You guys are awesome. Adrian Maldonado, thank you. And Granny C, thank you. Diane Adkins, love you, Dex. Angel's Fury, thank you so much, you guys, for support. To all my Foogle family here, I love you, and I come to try hard when I say I love you. P.S. The guy right there is not profited is 501c3. Some people may not know what that means. I suggest people research it. That guy right there, and I'm assuming talking about Pat Robertson. Probably. I don't doubt that. Joseph Newhouse, hey Adam and Dex Marfoogles after the show. I saw that. I will make sure to check it out. Jerry Permenter, thank you so much. So with that all out of there, I do want to say we are going to continue the calls. You want to call in, you can call in at 224-400-MARF. For the next few weeks, we are going to be over on D-Live for our calls. He's actually got them all lined up. It is unfortunate, but we are doing what we can to make sure that we are being smart, just period. So thank you guys. Much love to my YouTube fam. This isn't the end. Again, you can follow us right along. I would love to say love you to all of you. Either way, thank you guys. I will see you over on D-Live in just about 2 minutes. So 2 minutes. Dex, of course, you can say goodbye.
Goodbye, YouTube.
But hello.
Family. And hello, Hi, D-Live, you're still here. So, Adam, we'll make that switch over right now.
Boom. Have a good night, guys.